Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to change the way the world eats. My name is Shurina. I'm a certified nutritionist, health, nutrition, brain productivity coach, and just someone with a lot of passion for helping you guys to learn how to use nutrition as a precise tool to feel, look, and do your absolute best. Guys, I'm so pumped about the state, the direction where our nutrition is moving, like at least in scientific circles. And what I mean by that is more and more nutrition is recognized as a tool to change our mental state, how we feel every day, how we show up every day, whether we feel happy or unhappy, motivated or lethargic, and kind of like apathetic, not really wanting anything, aggressive or all collaborative. Food has to do with everything. And there is more and more research being done and unveiled between on the subject of this connection between our gut and what's happening in our digestive system and foods we put there and different compounds that circulate in our blood because of the foods that we eat. The connection between that and our brain, our mental state, whether we feel anxious, overwhelmed, and stressed, or optimistic and positive, and we feel like we're well. Food, it's everything, guys. It's what you are, how you look, what you do. Nothing is not affected by what you put on the plate. And I've just yesterday downloaded another book. It's called The Mood Cure. And in this book, the researcher, she is, I think, a professor, a medical doctor, a practitioner, has worked with a lot of people in her practice. And I liked her book, the description of it, because in that book, she would ask you for different symptoms, like, do you usually feel like blah, or really stressed, or she has this like funny descriptions of mental states, and based on that she would tell you, well, probably this food would help you because of that. So I'm really excited about reading that book and then implementing and trying it myself and with my clients. And so really excited about that state. What I'm also equally excited is bringing to you guys and all of my audiences on different platforms, social media platforms, and otherwise, like the courses that I'm giving. By the way, guys, there is a new course, Productivity for High Performers, and it's specifically designed for entrepreneurs, for founders, for startups, for remote teams, and it's all the stuff that I've learned from the latest neuroscience research, and then I combine it with lifestyle and workflow protocols and workspace design, in order to feel your best, to do your best work on demand, right? So the link to that class that is next Wednesday is in the show notes. It's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be different every time because I'm going to design it as we go based on my knowledge, but also based on the audience that comes in. It's limited to 33 people each time. And I'm going to base the content of the workshop on the audience and what the audience want to learn more about. So check it out in the show notes. But before, I announce my workshop accidentally, I actually wanted to talk to you about nutrition and how it is a very precise tool, guys. It's not just eating something of anything or a little bit of everything. If you want to change your state or your cognitive abilities to think, to analyze, or be more creative, you got to use food or certain supplements at specific times, in specific amounts, right? And in specific combination. And the difference can be like day and night. Right? If you take one thing in the morning and you take the same thing at night, and actually the effect is going to be very different because our metabolic rate, our metabolism in general, the chemicals that circulate, the processes that are happening, they change a lot from day to day, but also from hour to hour as the day progresses from morning to night. And so today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite foods. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I eat that food almost every single day. And then a lot of people started sending me their pictures of this food that they get across the world. They're like, is this the right thing, or should I get something else? And this is the right thing to do because they want to know the details, if they're doing the best thing that they can possibly do with this. I'm talking about sardines, right? And right now in front of me, in my hands, there is a can of sardines in olive oil with skin and bones preserved, not eliminated. And the point of today, a short podcast, the main point is sardines. Sardines is the main point and the main topic. And what kind of sardines are the best to get all the nutrition benefits for different purposes? Like sardines, fatty fish. A lot of people think, well, that's like getting or taking fish oil. Well, not exactly. Fish oil, it's just fat, it's just omega-3 fatty acids, and they're not as well preserved in a supplement form as they are in whole foods. The reason being is that fat, that omega-3 fat, is very fragile. It's oxidized very easily when it encounters temperatures and light, and you can imagine how many processes the fish has to go through to become a supplement, fish oil, right? It's squeezed, it's transported, it's like so many processes. Whereas if you take fish, well, you just get the fish. A lot of companies would have their packing factories right in the sea. At least some companies do that because it's very efficient. You have your factory right in the sea and you get the fish and you pack it right there, and then the ready-to-go product being shipped, that is much easier to handle. Right? So they just get the fish, pack the fish under temperature. They put the cans through some pressure temperature, but the process is still much easier and has much less steps. And the fish oil that is in fish has much less chance to be oxidized and actually become pro-inflammatory in our body, right? So that's the first reason why you want to get fish, not fish oil. The second reason, fish is not just oil, right? If you take an average can of sardines, it has protein, obviously, about 90 grams, 90 grams per can. Like this can is 120 grams or about 4 ounces. And the dry weight of actual sardines is 85 grams or a little bit less than 3 ounces. So in that can, these sardines have about 150 calories, depending whether they're in oil or not in oil, right? They're going to have more or less calories. I recommend to get your sardines either in water or olive oil. You don't need to be getting any vegetable oil, sunflower oil, or soybean oil, guys, because those oils, they are also highly they are so easy to get oxidized under temperature and can become pro-inflammatory. So if you get your sardines in oil, then get your olive oil. That is much better for you than, again, any soybean or vegetable oil, peanut oil, whatever that oil. And also if you get them in things like tomato sauce, make sure that it's just tomato sauce, not vegetable oil or a lot of oil and some tomato paste or tomato powder and a bunch of additives, right? So I usually recommend either in water, brine, or in olive oil. The next thing, right? We talked about protein. Then sardines. Did you know that a can of sardines would have about 230% of your vitamin B12 requirement? Now, here's the deal. You can't really absorb 200% of vitamin B in one meal. You only can absorb your daily need in one meal, right? So if you want to really get all this 200%, separate your sardines into meals and you're going to get it. That's one thing, but still there are more than 200% of your vitamin B12. Another thing, vitamin B3 or niacin, 33%. And niacin, why it's important? Well, it's one of the most important B vitamin for your brain capacity to think or do anything really, for gut health, and for your skin. And why is that, guys? Because niacin is needed to maintain DNA integrity. When DNA is being destroyed and it needs to be replicated again, you need niacin. Number one, for the gut, niacin is needed to replenish the lining of our gut. And lining of our gut is very important for nutrient absorption and to defend our bloodstream from any possible pathogen that can come in our food, so they don't leak out in our blood from our gut. So gut lining integrity is crucial. Again, we need to absorb nutrients there, but also we need to keep the bad stuff out of our bloodstream. So gut lining is crucial for our health. And niacin that you can't really get in that many foods, guys. By the way, coffee of dark roast caffeinating has quite a lot of niacin. But then again, 33% in a can of sardines, you get your niacin, especially, and for the skin, again, because of DNA. And also why it's important for cognitive performance, because niacin is needed and consumed every time we need to create neurotransmitters, those brain chemicals that we need to create states like motivation or focus or to learn, to memorize. All those things we need niacin. So sardines, again, a can, 33% or about 30%, right? Now, also sardines have about 20% of your vitamin D requirement if you're in a cold climate, in a climate where you don't get sun every single day throughout the whole year. Basically, if you're not by equator, then you need your vitamin D in food or supplements. Food usually is better than supplements for many reasons. So we get 20% per can of sardines, and we get 20% of one of my favorite nutrients in foods, 20% of choline that is made into acetylcholine, that is made in a lot of stuff that we need to create states like focus, like attention. We need for rapid eye movement sleep, where we dream and where our mental health is taken care of. We need it to consolidate memories. We need it to digest fat in our food. We need it to contract muscles. So choline is such a needed nutrient, and it only comes in fatty foods, things like sardines, or things like the richest source is eggs. You eat 3-4 eggs and you get all of your choline, but again, sardines have quite a lot. Then it's also in things like dairy products, but in general in fatty fish, meat, eggs are especially good. Also, there is a form that can be made into stuff that can be replacement for choline, but we're not going to get into that. Sardines is just good for that also, right? So a whole bunch of nutrients in your sardines, and I'm not done yet, right? A lot of sardines would be packed without bones and skin. Now there is skin, collagen-like proteins in skin of sardines. There are other nutrients in that skin, but I'm not that much, concerned with skin, the one that you lose when you get your sardines just fillet without bones or skin. I'm concerned with bones that you don't get, because calcium is a nutrient that only available in few food sources. And surprise, surprise, but fish bones are made of that calcium that we also need for our bones. But also calcium is needed for digestion, muscle contraction, creating of those, release of those neurotransmitters that we need to think, to learn, to focus, to be and stay motivated, right? So calcium, when you buy your sardines without those bones, you lose 300 to 500 milligrams of your calcium. That is about 30 to 50% of your daily need. And if you don't eat a lot of dairy products, like I do, half a liter a day, if supplements, guys, they hit or miss. They don't work as well as food, right? So I always recommend to get your nutrients from food for many reasons. Absorption, so they don't accumulate toxic amounts. And with calcium, it's actually if it's not balanced with other nutrients, it can lead to soft tissues calcification, anything from different stones in different parts of your body to calcium in soft tissues like your joints or tendons, where we have softer tissues that can actually make your mobility worse. A lot of different things can happen. Calcium can accumulate in your arteries that can lead to worsening of heart problems. So calcium is best to get it from food. I recommend to get some from things like sardines, some from a good serving, 150 milliliter serving of yogurt, and then the rest you're gonna add from things like beans, maybe sesame seeds, or tahini paste, that's made of sesame seeds, something from spinach, bok choy. Those have some calcium that is not that well absorbed, but there is quite a lot of it, right? So in bulk, you get your calcium, the rest of your calcium from these foods. But sardines, again, don't lose that calcium. A lot of it, highly absorbable. By the way, guys, mineral waters are also great sources of calcium, some of them. Not all of them. So you need to do research if the mineral water that you like actually has natural calcium that is also highly absorbable. Some mineral waters just have abundance of calcium, and that is a really legit source of calcium that have no calories, right? But again, if you get your sardines, get your sardines with bones and skin. Get your calcium. And with those bones, you get not only calcium, but other minerals like 10% of zinc, iodine, iron, copper, magnesium. You get phosphorus, 66%. Again, great for your bones and so many processes. We need phosphorus in cell membranes. We need phosphorus for a lot of things. Phosphorus is found in a lot of food. That's why I don't focus on it that much. Whereas calcium is quite rare, and it is in very few food sources. And then also bones contain selenium, 50% selenium, crucial mineral that is also kind of hard to get from foods, crucial element for your thyroid health. Thyroid, that is a queen of glands that governs our energy metabolism. And energy, it's everything, guys. How your body distributes energy. It's not just about your body weight. It's about your capacity to think and about your capacity to be happy. It's about your fertility, your fitness. Energy is everything. And if the metabolism of energy is off because your thyroid is off because it doesn't have enough selenium or other minerals like iodine, then you're going to be screwed. And a lot of processes can go wrong, right? So get your bones. That's the message. You're getting a lot of good minerals in absorbable form. Calcium obviously is the spotlight, just because again, it's so rare to get it from other foods, and foods are always the best sources. But then also you get some zinc, some iodine, some iron, some copper, some magnesium, and you get your B12, but that's not just in bones, of course, in sardines. So sardines are not just about omega-3s at all. That's why when people say, well, I don't eat sardines, I just get fish oil. Sardines do not equal fish oil. And that goes for any food. Some people would tell me, well, I don't eat, freaking carrots or liver, and I get my supplements. But guys, most foods have hundreds, especially plant-based foods, have hundreds, sometimes thousands of compounds that do not come in your peel. In your peel, there is just a very narrow range of nutrients, and usually not in the most best mix and absorbable form, right? So eat your foods, and if you get your sardines, get them first in water or olive oil. And the second thing, don't lose your bones, right? There is a lot of nutrition, essential nutrition. And again, calcium, not just teeth, not just bones, but also release of neurotransmitters, also required to make your muscles contract and relax properly, instead of twitching or having spasms. Also, your stomach, by the way, is a muscle, but also calcium is needed to create certain enzymes to digest fats and proteins. So calcium, very needed mineral. And there is a whole bunch of other nutrients in sardines that do not come with fish oil at all. Plus, the fish oil is of such a better quality in sardines than you get in any peel. That's it for today, guys. As you can hear, I'm very passionate about nutrition and food. And I'm very passionate about details because it's not all equal. It's not equal to, again, get fish oil and get sardines. It's not equal to get a multivitamin and have a diverse whole food diet. Not equal. Well, supplements can help with a lot of things, but also they're not perfect. They are not equal. We don't know everything about food. We can't put it in a pill. It's never been done and probably never going to be done. So learn to eat a wide variety of whole foods, especially, more foods that contain essential nutrients that are hard to get somewhere, but are essential for so many processes. So eat your sardines, get them in water, in olive oil, with bones and skin and everything, right? They're very soft bones, by the way, guys, very soft. Like chew your sardines and you won't even feel like, you might feel a little bit of a crunch, but that's it. And what else? Yeah, check out the link in the show notes to my masterclass, 2 hours on Wednesday evening, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right? I love that day. So check it out. It's $55, 2 hours, and it's going to be I promise you, the best productivity workshop you've ever had. So sign up, attend, and then invite friends. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of useful information. And as the first attender, I'll also give you my details where you can message me and I'll help you to implement all that advice. So check out the link in the show notes, attend that workshop. I'm really pumped about it. I'm going to be doing more and more of workshops because I want to teach. I love teaching, right? So check that out. Also check out the link to my supplement stack that I'm going to update every week with different, purposeful stacks, like the one for a specific diet. The one that is there now, it's for optimized body and brain. But anyhow, so check out the links in the show notes. Eat your sardines with skin, bones in water or olive oil. And till next time, as usual, guys, eat better daily.